What's going on, Broncos fans? We've got a jam-packed show to get to today, but first I want to tell everyone watching about today's proud sponsor, Mint Mobile. Start saving today. Stop overpaying for your cell phone plan. When you get started at mintmobile.com/chatsports, I'll tell you more about their awesome benefits later on in today's show. But here's what we got coming up. I am going to round up the latest trade rumors surrounding your Denver Broncos and some trade ideas, all the way from Christian McCaffrey to, yes, even Bradley Chubb. So we got a lot of ground to cover. But let's start with trade rumor number one, and that is Christian McCaffrey to Denver. This has been a popular trade name the last week or so. Ever since Matt Rule got fired, it has been a free-for-all for Panthers players of, is he available? Is he available? And now some people are wondering, could the Broncos be in the mix to trade for Christian McCaffrey? Now, CBS Sports put out an article with 6 destinations for the former first-round pick, and the Broncos were on that list. Of course, Christian, son of Broncos legend Ed McCaffrey, grew up in the Denver area, so it would be a homecoming of sorts. And like I said, with the Panthers in maybe, we don't really know for sure yet, but it's looking like it, complete fire sale mode, could McCaffrey be on the move? Now, here are the 6 landing spots that CBS outlined. In order, number 6, they said the Commanders. I don't really see that as much of a fit. They're not buyers. They are sellers. 5, Eagles. That makes sense. They love to run the football. Same for the Niners at 4. Denver at 3. All right, so now we're going to get into the Broncos side of this. Rams after that, and then the Bills at 1. Gosh, the Bills got McCaffrey. That would be unfair. Here's what Cody Benjamin from CBS Sports said, though. Nathaniel Hackett's team up with Russell Wilson has been erratic at best, and GM George Paton proved this offseason he's willing to go big to fill holes sooner rather than later. With Javonte Williams out for the year and Melvin Gordon in the doghouse as a steady fumbler, Denver could use an adrenaline injection in the backfield, especially with Wilson struggling to elevate the squad. McCaffrey's short area receiving ability would also bode well for Russ establishing a rhythm. Now, I understand the logic behind, the Broncos need help. Christian McCaffrey would be a big facelift and asset right now. But here's my question. What about Javonte Williams when he returns in 2023? Right? Are the Broncos going to trade a handful of picks, which they only have 5, to get McCaffrey for the rest of this year, the start of next year, and then turn things back over to Williams? That seems like a big hurdle to me, right, that we have to get past of, do the Broncos really want to go out and give away a handful of picks that they're already very short of for McCaffrey on a one-year rental of sorts? Now, they could get out of McCaffrey's contract pretty easily after this season, but to me, any team that trades for Christian McCaffrey wouldn't want to do that. And I think McCaffrey's better than Javonte Williams when they're both healthy, but I don't think Denver wants to move on from Javonte Williams. Now, we're going to get to more of this in just a moment, but first, our proud sponsor today, Mint Mobile, has so many awesome benefits that you, Broncos country, has to know about. 1, the transition from your current cell phone provider to Mint Mobile is super easy. Thanks to new eSIM technology, do it from your couch while watching college football or a Broncos game. Keep your same phone number, hell, even your same phone. When you get started at mintmobile.com/chatsports, you're going to find out that they have rates starting as low as $15 a month. Check it out. That link's in the comments and the description of today's show. So Christian McCaffrey, we know, if you have a fantasy owner, would know especially, when healthy, he's a top 5 running back in the NFL. The issue is, going into the season, he had only played 10 games over the previous 2 years. Now, to start this season, the Panthers have been atrocious on offense, but McCaffrey has been a bright spot. 324 yards on the ground, nearly 200 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 72 carries, 26 grabs. He is still that versatile back. Does he look the same as he did in 2018 and 2019? Not exactly, which is why I don't think it actually would maybe cost as much as some people think to get Christian McCaffrey. If I had to estimate, this is, I think, what the value would be for McCaffrey. Panthers get a 4th and a 5th. The Broncos get CMC. That might be too much of a low ball, but I don't think you're going to find any NFL GM out there willing to give up much draft capital for an older running back-ish that's had some serious injuries the last couple of seasons. So 2 day 3 picks kind of feels like it's in the range for Christian McCaffrey. Maybe it's a 3rd. Definitely not a 1st or a 2nd, I believe. A 3rd might be something that sneaks in, but then Carolina would probably have to send like a 6th rounder back here. So would you do this trade? I'll let you guys fill up the comment section right now. Sound off for me here. Broncos get CMC. Panthers get a 4th and a 5th. That might not seem like a very high price, but keep in mind that 4th round pick for Denver in 2023, that's 20% of their draft assets. And that's on the better half of their draft assets too. 2/3 and then a 4th. Let me know what you think down below. Now, I cannot promise a Christian McCaffrey trade is going to happen. And I can't promise that if you subscribe, that will help turn the season around. But why jinx it? Right? Hackett needs all the help he can get at this point. The guy looks flustered. Looks like he's a little bit in over his head right now. So let's help him out. Let's sub for some dubs. Let's let him know that Broncos country is going to stick by this team no matter what. And they're not going away this year. Hit that big red button to help turn this 2-3 season around. All right, next trade rumor out there. Could Bradley Chubb be on the trading block? Ooh. This one is tough for me because if you are a longtime viewer of the channel, I might come across as a bit of a hypocrite right now, and I'm going to own my L. I wouldn't say campaigning to trade Chubb back in the draft, but I was open if a good offer would come across Peyton's table. So Pro Football Network picked one player for all 32 teams that could be on the move before the NFL trade deadline. And for Denver, they went with 5.5 sack man Bradley Chubb. So he's on the last year of that rookie deal, former top pick back in 2018. And the question is, if the losses start to pile up, could George Paton, who did say after the draft they plan to have more picks than they currently have, look to start unloading assets and kind of punt on this season and not rebuild, but retool a little bit here? Here's what Dallas Robinson from Pro Football Network said. Given that there are only 3 weeks until the trade deadline, Denver would probably have to lose to the Chargers, Jets, and Jags and fall to 2-6 before they consider moving Chubb. Let's assume that happens. George Paton is a forward-looking general manager. While he could use the franchise tag to retain Chubb in 2023, Paton might be hard-pressed to shy away from draft capital-laden trade offers. If another team offered a first-round pick for Chubb, would Paton take it? Paton didn't draft Chubb, and trading the pass rusher could allow him to recoup some of the picks Denver used to acquire Russell Wilson. Admittedly, this is an unlikely scenario, but if Denver's season gets worse in the forthcoming weeks, it might be on the table. I think Dallas has a lot of fair points raised. One, it is unlikely, right? The Broncos, I don't think are going to drop the next 3 weeks here. Now, you could maybe map it out of Chargers on the road. That's tough. Jets are 3-2. The Jags are frisky. The sky maybe could start to fall. But as of right now, this day and age, this present day, October 12th, I am passing on trading Bradley Chubb. But if someone does call the Denver Broncos, a 2-6 team in a couple of weeks, and offers a first rounder, tell me you wouldn't think about it. That's all I'm going to say. Tell me you would not think about entertaining the idea of trading Chubb away on the last year of his deal. You sign Randy Gregory. You drafted Nick Bonito. It could make some sense. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see it happen because I don't believe the Broncos are going to go all the way to 2-6. And if they trade him and they are, 3-3, 4-3, 3-4, then I'll probably be a little ticked off, especially if it's not for a first rounder. And I don't even know if they're going to get a first rounder, right? Von Miller went for a 2nd and a 3rd. Very different points in their career, but Von's Von. I would be hard-pressed to find a team that would give up a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb, but it's definitely worth having the conversation. Would you do it? Would you trade Chubb for a first-round pick? This is a tough question, I think. T for trade or P for pass? I'll take the coward's way out and say door number 3, I don't know yet, but I have to wait and see how the next couple of weeks unfold. I don't like the idea of trading Chubb, especially if he continues to have this awesome season. He's on pace for over 18 sacks right now. You re-sign him, and Gregory could be an amazing duo for years to come. All right, final trade rumor to get to on today's show. Could Albert Okwuegbunam be going to Vegas, a division rival? This is an interesting idea. Now, this trade idea comes from The Athletic, who had some fun with this, all right? So The Athletic dropped their Week 5 power rankings, and in them, they included trade ideas for all 32 teams. They had a lot of fun with these trade ideas. They were not serious. For example, my favorite one was A.J. Brown to the Titans because Tennessee needs a receiver. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So, this one did seem a little bit more realistic. Maybe not so to the Raiders, but maybe just a trade candidate altogether. And then later today, I saw NFL.com posted a handful of trade candidates to watch for, and they included Albert Okwuegbunam. And it makes sense when you look at the stats from the Broncos tight ends this year. Albert O is tight end 3 in a lot of ways. Eric Sauber is absolutely tight end 1. Andrew Beck has been a little bit more big play guy. Okwuegbunam, we talked about this yesterday on our show yesterday. 5 grabs in week 1, just 2 since then. In fact, look at his snaps. He is clearly not trusted by this coaching staff. 67% of snaps in week 1, down to 21% in week 5. And with Greg Dulcich coming off IR, the rookie who the Broncos have a lot of optimism and excitement for, maybe there's not a role for Albert O in this team. And maybe with Dulcich and Eric Sauber moving forward, and even a little bit of Andrew Beck and hell, Eric Tomlinson for that matter, Denver might honestly try to recoup some draft capital. And at this point, I'm not opposed. Because if Albert O is just going to play a fifth of the snaps of the game, why not pick up the phone and see if there's a team out there that thinks that they could utilize him a little better? Now, that's a big if, because if Greg Dulcich comes back and he is a rookie and looks like a rookie, well, then you might want to hold on to Albert O. But at this time this point in time, I'll help him back. I'll help him pack. Because if he's not going to be played by Denver, you might as well try to recoup some draft capital and get more than just 5 picks for this upcoming draft, where clearly Denver has a lot of holes to fill.